Welcome to Eat Good, and I'm your host, Kirly Sue. And this is the show where you, the viewers, have requested quick, easy and tasty, easy to make vegan dishes. Today's dish is one of my absolute faves. It's a sweet potato roti. It's really easy to make. It's got sweet potato in it, so it kind of makes it a little less with the carbs. So here we go. So first of all, I'm going to put some gloves on because we're going to make dough. And I like to put some gloves on when we're making dough because as much as you scrub your hands, you can sometimes get things trapped under the nails and nobody wants to eat that. So I always put gloves on for this one. So for this, it's actually only 3 ingredients, and I know out there you love your 3 ingredient recipes. So you just need 1 cup of flour, plain flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 cup of mashed sweet potato. That's warm. So you can either cook them and then make it straight from that, or if you've got leftover sweet potato, you just heat it up and crush it. So we're going to put it in the bowl and we're going to just crush it with a fork like that to start with. So while we're doing that, we're going to put the pan on the stove because this is going to be quite quick. Add your flour and the baking powder. Stir that around. And then you're going to put your hands in because you're going to knead it together to make a dough. So give it a good press. The sweet potato, if you've heated it up, you might need to let it cool down a little bit before you can handle it. You knead it in the bowl like this. You just keep going till it starts to come together and it changes color a little bit, but that's what you want. It's perfectly fine. And this is really good to serve with a curry or whichever dish you like. You can use it as a wrap. It's just so quick and easy to make. And it's so flavorful and versatile at the same time. So there we go. We have it now. It's come together in a dough. Yep, it's looking good. We're having a good dough day. All right, so once it's done like that, take it out, put it onto your board. Put that over here. And then we're going to cut it into 4 pieces. Just get a knife. Just go like that and like that. So you put 3 pieces to the side. And then you're going to roll this one out. So you need to make sure you've got plenty of flour. So we're going to flour our rolling pin. And you're going to roll it out. You're going to roll it out quite thinly. You don't want it too thick. So you want it to cook quite quickly as well. So roll it out till it's flat. There you go. And then I've got a pan here that's heated up, and then you just brush it with a little bit of oil. You don't need too much oil, just brush it with a little bit of oil. Then you transfer it to the pan and allow it to cook on the first side. I'm going to turn this up. Yeah. And just watch it. It needs to about 3 to 5 minutes on one side and then the same on the other side, and then it's ready. We're going to put it on our lovely plate over there. So again, this is a really good way to use up leftover sweet potato. And if you've got some extra flour, this is really good. Also, if you're having a party, you could have a roti station. So you could have somebody making these, and then you have the different fillings that they can put into the roti. So you can have it on demand, and people will love that, I assure you. Now you see it starting to bubble a little bit. That's what you want. Those little bubbles tell you that it's cooking on the other side. So after your 3 minutes, then you're going to flip it over, wait another 3 minutes, and then it's done, and we do the next one. So while we're waiting for that, let's roll out the second one. Make sure you've got plenty of flour and roll it out carefully, like that. And you can kind of make it a rounder shape if you kind of engineer the rolling pin to go kind of round like that. Yeah, so our second one is ready. So lift it off the board so it doesn't stick. Put the flour there so it'll stay. Perfect. Now this looks like it's ready to turn over. Perfect. Now the pan looks like it needs a little more oil. Give it a quick dab of oil. There you see it's starting to look a nice roti-ish color. Give it a little oil on the top, just a little bit. And the oil I have here, I think this is coconut oil. You can use any type of oil you want, really. Sunflower oil, vegetable oil, any type of oil that you have handy is perfectly fine for this dish. I wouldn't use olive oil because olive oil has a low heating point, takes longer to heat up. But any other oil is perfectly fine. This is looking nice. I'm pleased with this. All right, so our second one, it's got almost time to put that one in. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, it's cooked on the other side. So pop that on the plate. Oil our pan. Put the second one in. Perfect. I'm pleased with these. And while that one's cooking, multitask and get the next one ready. Just roll it out. Just move it around. Don't have to apply too much pressure. Just make sure it's nice and thin so that it cooks through quickly. There we go. I think this one might need turning. Check. Yep. I think this needs to turn down a little bit. Leave that there a second. And put some more oil. Flip it over. Add a little oil on the top. Yes, these are looking good. So just want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. So that's our second one. And while that one's waiting, we can roll out the fourth one like this. Move the knife out the way. So we save time. So we're doing like a little production line here. All right, that one's ready. Wonderful. And then you just keep going until you've done all 4 pieces. Right, I'm going to turn this down a bit. Yeah, 6 should be fine. And we've got 1 more to go after that, and then we're done. See, it doesn't take much time at all. And these are something you can actually get your kids to help you with. They can help you roll out the dough, can help you cut up the dough as well. Obviously you have to supervise them because it's a hot pan, but it's a good skill to learn because everybody loves roti, don't they? Of course they do. You can make this using spelt flour. Not sure how it is with other flours like gluten-free and all that, you'd have to experiment, but for this one, it's working really well. All right, that's ready to turn. All right, and we've got one more after that, and then we're done. I think this stove is a little on the overzealous side. I'll take it down a little bit. Yeah, I think that's done. Give it another second. I'm gonna flip it a little bit. All right, that one's done. And our final one, let's just make sure we oil the pan well. And carefully put the final one on. Put some oil at the top. I usually use spray oil because that's actually gives it the oil that you need, but without too much oil going on. So you can use the spray oil as well. We can take the gloves off now as we're on the final one. It is looking lovely. I'm pleased with these. And what you want to do is look for the bubbles. So yeah, it's starting to bubble. You can see it there. Starting to bubble. I can see a few. That's really good because that's when you know it's starting to cook through. So just give it another minute or so, and then we're going to flip it over. All right, let me just check. Don't want it to burn. And that's the final one. And you can use any kind of sweet potato, the white sweet potato, the pinky color sweet potato, the yellowy one, any sweet potato that you have will work for this. The more watery the sweet potato is, the better for this particular recipe. But any one you have to hand will work perfectly fine. So this is our final one, and then that's it. We've done our sweet potato rotis. Just check how it's doing under there. Yeah, it just needs another minute. These taste super nice because I love sweet potato. I love sweet potato almost anything. You could even try the purple sweet potato. So those are really nice. If you've got purple sweet potato, you could, I mean, obviously it will change the color a bit, but that's perfectly fine. So you can try the purple sweet potato with this as well, and I think that will work really well. There you go. And that's our final roti. And that's how you make sweet potato roti. For more episodes like this, go to Hope Channel Southeast Asia or follow on hopetv.asia.
For me, vegan diet would be one of the best options. I think that is the healthier option for us. And you can have a better lifestyle better results for your life and your body, your mind, and everything. So I think that would be one of the best options, vegan diet. I have tried to be vegan. Maybe I didn't choose that option for real, but I tried for a month before, and I had really good results for my body, my mind, and I saw that when I was trying to avoid some dairy foods, for example, I would automatically cut sugar and other things that would come, even that you as a vegan, maybe you eat sugar, but would eat less. So for me, I had really good results, but I didn't took it longer because for me the most difficult part would be the social part. So every time that I would visit some friends, they maybe wouldn't have option for me. So I just kept being vegetarian. So I am vegetarian for 8 years. I have been vegetarian for 8 years, and I choose to be vegetarian, not vegan. Hi Susan, so I have a question for you. How can we make vegan dishes more tasty? Because I had many occasions that I have been in weddings or some friend's house, and the dish would look perfect, would look really nice, but when we would try that, were not that tasty. So could you help me with this? Thank you so much for answering this.
And now we've come again to the viewers' question section, where you, the viewers, have sent in some really great questions, and there's so many of them, but feel free to keep them coming in via my social media, via Instagram or YouTube, and I will answer as many of them as I possibly can. Today's question is, how can I make my vegan dishes taste better? So there's a number of ways, and it kind of depends on what you mean by taste better, but one of the things why I feel people's vegan dishes don't taste as it should or how they want it to is because the attention they would give in terms of herbs and spices and so forth that they would give to a meat or fish dish, they tend to think because it's vegan that it doesn't need any seasonings, it doesn't need any herbs, you know, you just add some, I don't know what they add. But you have to always think of the flavor palette. Now, vegan food varies across the world. So you think of what sort of spices do you usually use when you're making meat or fish? Because not all, but the majority of spices are suitable for vegan. And the same for herbs. I would say almost every single herb I've ever heard of is suitable for vegan. So if you're using that to flavor your dishes, that will make a big difference. But also think of the different textures. Think of the textures that you like. Because for me, I eat tofu, not a lot, but I do have tofu. Now, if the tofu tastes in that sort of jellyish type, the soft tofu, if it has that texture that you see when you buy it, I don't like it. But if it's the more crumbly one, I like it. And if it's done Asian style, where it's kind of crispy on the outside and soft in the inside, I love it. So for me, it depends on the texture that will affect whether I like the dish or not. So you have to look at flavor, and you have to look at texture, and also presentation as well. I think it's important to make sure that people eat with their eyes as well as their taste buds. Now, moving on to desserts. Sometimes people make really boring desserts. You know, we'll have some fruit salad and they don't even pick the nicest fruits. They pick the most boring ones that no one wants. And that's not really flavorful. It's just nothing much to it. So think of what can I do to make it nicer? So one of the dishes I do is I make a strawberry shortcake, my version. So I've made some shortbread biscuits, big ones, and I have one on the bottom, one on the top, fresh strawberries in the middle, and vegan squirt cream. And you have that kind of like a sandwich, dust it with a little icing sugar on top, and it tastes lovely. So you have to think of the flavors that you've grown up and that you're used to, and you may not get them exactly, but you might have to find some new loves, some new things. But try to always think of flavor, texture, and presentation, and that will help a lot. If you're really struggling and your skills with regards to vegan cooking are rather basic, think about taking a cooking course. That might help you as well. And I think it's important to have some nice cookbooks. There's a cookbook based on this series called Eat Good. You can get a copy of that. Or just get a collection of different cookbooks and select your favorite recipes and then use that to build up your bank of vegan recipes that you like. Try out lots of different ones. I always think a recipe is a guide and you can adapt it to how you want it. You don't have to be exact. Apart from in baking, baking is a science, so don't mess it up with the flour and the baking powder. But you can, tweak the flavor. So the main thing is to make sure that you have a collection of different recipes that you like and keep those in a folder so that you can refer back to it. So that's the main thing. To make your food taste better, you have to kind of put a little bit of effort into it. So a vegan chef, I've got, I don't know how many cookbooks, and I always look at it to get inspiration, to see how do they do that, how do they do this. I watch videos, I do a lot of research, but that's what I do as a profession. But if you want to eat well and keep it plant-based, it's about going on your plant-based journey and learning and growing more and feeling more confident in the kitchen. Start with simple dishes and then build as you go along, and you'll be surprised what is it that you can do. For the cookbook based on this series, go to Amazon, anywhere you are in the world, and you'll be able to get a copy. You have been watching Eat Good. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.